Greetings, we are Anonymous. This is a message to the Food and Drug Administration. Your distribution of poison for every man, woman and child in the United States has been noted by Anonymous. Over the years, we have been watching you. We have watched your campaigns of lies, how you ignore the people's cries of protest, and your censorship of the information that should be published on every newspaper and magazine. Your laws designed to suppress the freedoms of the people. How you kill hundreds of thousands every day slowly. We have seen you imprison those who try to save the people from you. Your corrupted organization has been made clear to us that you do not respect nor care about the freedoms and well-being of everyone you were employed to help. Anonymous has therefore decided that the Food and Drug Administration must be destroyed, for the good of the children and for the good of the people you poison, and for our own enjoyment. We see you as a serious threat and we are ready to expel you from the face of the earth and the internet. You will not survive against the wrath of the angry masses, and Anonymous. You may tell those that we have targeted you for destruction. In fact, it is encouraged, for our enjoyment, for the lulz. You will prevail against us, for we are everywhere. Your crimes against the health and well-being of everyone and your punishment against those who would expose the truth will no longer be tolerated. Your enabling of corrupt laws to line the pockets of greedy corporations will not be accepted. You will be exposed to the people, and you will be removed from the internet and your organization will be destroyed. Your days of deceit are over. Revolution is here. The people will rise up against your profiteering and your corruption. We shall destroy your corrupt regimes. We will cure the poison that is the FDA. To the people of the United States, we ask you not to buy the foods and drinks in the supermarket. Instead, buy foods from your local organic markets. Do not buy sugar-free products. Do not buy products tainted with monosodium glutamate or toxic preservatives. Do not buy any breakfast cereals. Do not buy medications with serious side effects. Buy products that contain cane sugar. Buy products that have been grown locally on the farms in your area. Buy a medication that has little to no side effects. And the crimes of the FDA expose the truth. Operation Detox. Engaged. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Greetings, citizens of the world. Those of you from the United States should know the 4th of July is Independence Day. Like Memorial Day, Independence Day should also be about remembering. While there's nothing wrong with celebrating on Independence Day, it's important to know why you're celebrating and what the day is really about. The past is often sadly overlooked or forgotten. It can seem irrelevant when facing the challenges of today. However, many of the challenges we face today are challenges people faced in the past as well. The simple fact is that besides technological advances, we are very similar to our ancestors. For throughout human history we have always faced injustice, and in response have pursued our basic rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This 4th of July we celebrate our independence from the tyranny and oppression of one nation, while remaining ever vigilant to avoid tyranny and oppression within our own. Just as Britain has had its light spots and dark spots in history, so has the United States. It's vitally important to remember the challenges of the past are still very similar to the challenges of the present. Nevertheless, if we learn from the challenges of the past and present, we can avoid making the same mistakes in the future. We are Anonymous, we are Legion. We can forgive, yet we shall never forget. Expect us.
Sheldon Idle Update, July 1st, 2014.
Dratso. We come on this day with good news. Our various earthly associates are diligently readying your blessings for delivery. We wish to devote our message this week to discussing your origins. We are all descendants of an aquatic ape-like creature that lived on the third planet from its sun, the star you call Vega. This planet was a water world, filled with what you might think are very unusual creatures. The worst of these was a large predator, and our ancestors had climbed over a series of craggy mountains to escape it. There, they developed into great fishermen and began to spend a vast amount of time at sea. Eventually, they lost their dense body fur and took on some of the characteristics of a marine mammal. Around 6 million years ago, land cetaceans visited them from the solar system. These gentle beings asked them if they wanted to become fully conscious beings and eventually migrate to their former homelands. They were reluctant at first. However, the intervention of the spiritual hierarchy convinced them to do so. They were then granted full consciousness and met with other such souls from the stars, which surrounded Vega. These meetings led to the formation of a light confederation, which began to slowly expand its influence across the Lyra constellation. 4 million years ago, they had reached the star Sirius and had morphed into a new organization, the Galactic Federation of Light. It was the sacred union which eventually colonized the solar system. These colonies were ravaged by the Antaran Alliance and forced to flee. The colonists returned around 900,000 years ago and decided to only settle on Gaia. This group set up its headquarters in Inner Earth and also settled on a large island continent known to you today as Lemuria. This surface colony began to slowly expand. Its task was to support and maintain the various ecosystems. Around 300,000 years ago, Earth was colonized by beings from Centaurus and the Pleiades. Most of them went to the large island continent in the present-day Atlantic Ocean. Its inhabitants called this new colony Atlantis. It soon became a silent rival of the Lemurians. Around 50,000 years ago, the Lemurians gave each of its colonies equal status. The Atlanteans saw this as a possible opportunity to exert their dominance over the surface lands of Earth. Approximately 25,000 years ago, the Atlanteans and their dark allies struck and destroyed the surface lands of Lemuria. The Lemurians retreated to their inner Earth realm. This left the Atlanteans in charge of the surface lands. Over the millennia, the Atlanteans began a policy of banishing the many children of the ruling elites who strongly opposed them to a peninsula in the Mediterranean Sea called Ionia. The Atlanteans eventually attacked this colony. The Ionian scientists had prepared for this eventuality with a series of special devices. With these they were able to counter this threat. Atlantis was consumed by its own weapon and soon sank beneath the waters. The residents of Atlantis and their global allies fled to another world, which orbited a star in the Centaurian constellation, known to you as Beta Centauri. This disaster left behind two groups of beings. The first were a group of special human hybrids called, in your legends, the Anunnaki. The second was your limited consciousness ancestors. These groups, with the help of Heaven, soon formed a symbiotic relationship. Heaven desired that your ancestors survive and learn a number of vital lessons, which were to become useful once the light returned in full force to your world. This strange relationship, which consisted of the Anunnaki as gods, and your ancestors as their devoted followers, continued for some 13,000 years. The time arrives for this to end and for you to resume your former state. This stage of your long journey is merely the beginning of how you are to be made fully conscious once again. We are here to be your mentors and to permit your return. The Anunnaki left behind a ruling group that morphed over the millennia into what you know as the Dark Cabal. This group is being ousted from power. It is aware that its time has come. The immediate present is to see this group step aside and be succeeded by our earthly allies. The pieces are in place for a great change to happen in the twinkling of an eye. This transformation includes sacred beings who come from all parts of your globe. Their programs are to liberate you and to provide prosperity and new governance. Blessings. We are your ascended masters. Your world is suffering under the last vestiges of the Dark Cabal. Our mission is to provide a means for you to get beyond their heinous rule. In addition, Heaven sent us great fleets of ships that are to bring us mentors, to aid in your transition to full consciousness. We welcome them. These brothers give us the ability to overcome any power still possessed by the dark cabal. A natural blessed movement is underway that is to move you toward full consciousness. Our divine task is to oversee these developments and ensure that they affect you positively. The purpose is to make certain of your timely success. Our associates have the tools required to forge a new epoch for humanity. This new epoch is already blessedly forming around you. The Dark's agents fear arrest. They panic about the facts to be presented at their trials and know that this present realm is indeed crumbling. The Dark's time is over. A new era of freedom, peace and prosperity manifests. We realize how this is forming. At a special time, we are to address you and confirm what Heaven is doing to formalize its numerous sacred decrees. The Dark set up a global set of societies founded on war, division and unwarranted hatred of each other. We need to apply remedies to millennia of profound abuse. You have in you hidden hatreds and odd beliefs set forth by your former overseers. Lessons are required to be taught by us so the equality of all and the surfacing of a mutual benevolence can reappear. In this light, you can truly come together and begin to set the foundations for a new global society. This society is to recognize your spiritual sovereignty and divine rights. It is also to ensure your prosperity by giving you the means to secure these for yourselves and your intertwined families. This is all a preface to what your galactic mentors are to teach you. This is merely the time when you start to comprehend who you really are, and how you are dearly related to one another. Your ascension is to finally give you a special code for forging what we and your mentors teach you. Be in joy and be blessedly aware of how Heaven constructed this and righteously forged the path for your grand reunion with us all. We have sat in Agartha and watched how the Dark manipulated you and kept you apart. This injustice is now ending. We have visited many parts of this globe over the last year and seen how things are changing. Heaven works in strange and wondrous ways. The Dark Cabal cannot escape its fate. Even so, these scalawags are our brothers and sisters who at the time of full consciousness are to return to the fold. We know this and see the purpose of this final part of our mutual journey, to learn the simple fact we are indeed all one. Hosanna! 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 Today, we continued our message. Remain ever aware that Heaven is our sacred guide. Our divine service is to welcome back all of humanity. We come to teach, to mentor and to prepare you for the final great spiritual leap, full consciousness. The moment comes for us to take action and bring us all into this new blessed age. Know, dear ones, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of Heaven are indeed yours. So be it. Salamat Gajan. Salamat Yah. Syrian for B1. And be in joy. Presence in waiting message from Arca, Lady Patience, July 2, 2014, received by Julie Miller. Do you remember how waiting was such a terrible problem? How difficult was it to ignore your boredom? Were you prone to look through the tabloids at your grocery store if the lines were long? Or did you begin thinking how unlucky you were to find yourself in such a long line? Did you know, dear ones, that within waiting there is a glorious opportunity? Of course you can make use of your high-tech devices while waiting, but high-tech gadgets DOES and always provide you with the most advantageous way to make use of your time. The more you turn to your electronic devices such as your cellular phones, tablets and other devices, you help to decrease the opportunity of inner productivity. What can be done, dear ones, instead of turning to your electronic distractions every time you have to wait? You can focus exclusively on the now moment while waiting. The next time you are in a situation where you must wait, take a look, dear ones, carefully at these precious moments. These gaps in time where you must wait. The feeling of being bored can be quite powerful, yet at the same time it is also a reminder that you have been given time to focus on presence during the time you are waiting. The work you do while waiting will help remove you from the idea that having to wait is a waste of time. It's only a waste of time If you make it so, you can easily fill that space with meaningful, productive and nourishing inner work that is necessary for both your heart and soul. We have had noticed a few dear souls turn the waiting inwards when their outer activities have not gained their full attention. You, yourself may do this. You might be doing a certain task, knowing it has to be done, but your passion or energy to do it is not quite there, so you looking forward to it being done. Inner waiting is a perfect time to focus on the now moment, on presence, because it signifies that your inner resources and knowing energy is overflowing. You have plenty to spare. At that moment, dear ones, you can turn that into beneficial use by practicing waiting presence right at that moment. What do you wait for? You wait in line. You wait for the bus. You wait for the ride to be over. You wait for an appointment. You wait for your food. You wait for the concert to begin. You wait for the day to be over, for the week to end, and so forth. Within all the waiting, you have been given so much incredible opportunities to work in presence. So much time has been given to you to put into constructive, beneficial use. Unfortunately, many of you tend to equate waiting with boredom and impatience, which are emotions of rejection of life at that precious moment. And while you are rejecting life at that moment, you are also rejecting the opportunity of just being. So many dear souls are uncomfortable just being themselves by themselves. They have an innate need to be entertained, to find a way to help fill the time of waiting. But does not silence help fill the time as well? Mindful silence helps to turn a dull moment into a moment of deep inner healing. Silence is not a waste of time, it is beautiful time with oneself. Unfortunately, while waiting, many dear souls find themselves rushing to be onto something else to fill the void of boredom, yet the busyness of the mind does not help heal any part of your inner self. It simply covers up any problem you are avoiding during the silent moments. If you are living without presence, even during the few moments you must wait for something or someone, you missing out on some of the richness in life that fills every single moment of your life. When you are waiting, you don't just have your common, ordinary time, you also have inner time to make use of. Your outer time basically is the outline of your actions while in the physical world, whereas your inner time is of the outline of your actions in your inner world. Within the inner action, you are pursuing a particular form of practice that is deeply spiritual, and that, dear ones, it remain present while waiting. Waiting gives you this gift of inner action. Waiting provides you with the opportunity of moving into presence as completely as you possibly can. With enough conscious practice, you can easily become able to enter full presence immediately. Until you are able to do this, it is important to step wisely and raise up your presence. To do this, dear ones, you begin with your body, being aware of your body, being able to sense each part and, when possible, the entirety of your body. This is a time you focus with loving intent to strengthen your direct intuitive connection with your body and raise its sensitive energy. Once you are able to successfully reach this impactful sensory state, next you can become more aware of your emotional state, of what is occurring within your heart and of your solar plexus region. This is a good time to tune into your chakras, as they always have much to teach you. Then, once ready, you can enhance awareness to your thoughts as they come and go. It is here, when you have given your focus to your body, emotions and thoughts, that you are able to enter mindful stillness that is behind all your thoughts. Your open consciousness. Here you can easily determine that you are not your thoughts, nor are you your emotions. To all that you add of yourself, you enter that moment as I. You are here now, I am here, now. And you are able to uphold this fullness, this completeness of presence as you continue to wait. This, dear ones, is known as waiting presence, and each of you are capable of turning any wait time into a time of presence. You know, much of your life is made up of choices, but did you realize that you also spend a lot of time waiting for something? The circumstances of life often restrain you. Traffic on the way to and from home, slow-moving governmental changes, too many people in one place, or a schedule or meeting that cannot be accelerated. What happens, dear ones, is mostly you accept you have to wait and try to make the best of it by entertaining yourself, or you will find yourself gripped by heaviness of boredom and frustration. Your inner life also has waiting time, but it is not quite the same as what you wait for in your outer life. The inner you is waiting for the right moment to practice being present, to have a free moment not taken by some form of busyness. In addition, if you sense something is off in your body, you can tune into this through extrasensory intuition and wait until you feel better. Your inner self can also help you determine if your immediate situation is not going to be beneficial or advantageous, suggesting you wait for another time that suits you better. Waiting provides with a lot of insight that we know many dear souls have taken for granted. During your day, you might remember the importance of spiritual practice. You might think to yourself, I am done work today, I'll practice sensing my body, or my emotions and thoughts. Or when I get home, I'll practice inner work through stillness and solitude. But on your way home you are confronted by the busyness of others just trying to get home or to the next place on their busy agenda, and whatever kindness and acceptance was inside of you soon becomes swept away by anger or frustration as you get pushed around by fellow commuters, or on a busy highway or train station. By the time you get home, you forget the plans you made with your inner self and begin waiting for the perfect moment to arise again, when you have been given that moment every time you were waiting while commuting home or wherever you were going. Sometimes, dear ones, you can always work on your inner self where you are most comfortable. Sometimes you are given pockets of time during a time of waiting to practice presence, and many times these are not recognized as opportunities, which they definitely and divinely are. You can easily look within your own inner self and inner life and be judge and jury for how much unnecessary waiting time you placed between you and your path. Or you can begin making the change to see every moment of time, even the time you are waiting, to be an opportunity for awakening your spirit, for creating your soul, to serve your higher consciousness. We encourage you to stop with the waiting and start being in presence and start living your life more deeply and more spiritually sound. And so it is /VT Pitch. I am Marka Lady Patience, also known as Shekina /VT Pitch. Raw Julie Miller.